Hey, what's up, guys? Eudes here. It is Toss and Turn NYC. Welcome back to another episode. As you notice, I am by myself. Man, every time I say that, it brings sadness to my eyes. But realize that it is Sunday. It is the day where you can either be working, of course, or you're being productive. So I have a few subjects that I want to kind of sit back and kick it with you guys with. And the first one... Actually, let me just go down the list here. We're always going to be complementing health or talking about health in general. We're going to be discussing how to communicate or what does communication mean to you. Things that have happened this week in regards to my life. And of course, anything that you guys have brought up in the past. I want to give a shout out to Rosa. Thank you for sharing. Everyone else, thank you so much for the likes. Anytime you guys give me a direct message, I am very happy in the sense of like engaging and talking with you guys all about the things that go on in our very own lives. Kind of just got off the phone with a few of my friends. They're going to be doing a few things today. And I just, this has been on the back burner all day. I tried to shoot it earlier, got interrupted, did my meal prep, finished my laundry, and now I'm sitting in the living room after a few phone calls, and we're going to get this show right on the way. So, health and food. I want to say, what does that mean to you? Are you eating for fun? Like, does food equal fun to you? Is that a part of your situation or lifestyle or choice as far as that is concerned? Because at the end of the day, for me, it's all about seasoning. I'm on a plant-based diet. I kind of grew up not consuming. I was always forced to eat like chicken breasts or some form of like meat. As long as it didn't look like the animal, I was okay with. Like, I never really ate wings or things of that nature. I was never okay with it. So for me, it's easy to be on this plant-based routine. I can't say that I'm full vegan in the sense of like everything in my surrounding area. I recently bought like shoes that are environmentally conscious. I've replaced my belts and all this stuff, but I still have leather products. So I'm not an activist as of yet. Maybe I'll continue to post towards that regard. I know I definitely lose a lot of people as far as like followers or whatever is concerned when I start talking about those things. And it's not that has a key to it, but I'm only on a plant-based diet for personal choices. I've been, I used to grab the salad bowl and drop my rice into the salad bowl and like claim the salads for myself when I was younger. So that's always been a practice of mine, and over the years I've tried different things, but now I'm strictly on a plant-based diet. I started meal prep 2 weeks ago. For context, it's mostly about the seasoning. Even now I finished my meal prep for the week. It's in a pot. I got to put it into smaller containers, but I figure I sit down and have a chat with you guys and then see how the vibe is like afterwards. As the sun goes down, clearly it's now 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Since I didn't have a guest, I didn't need to stay to like a specific schedule. I could just shoot this whenever. And so food. Is it fun? Is that the only interest? Because it becomes like a want. It's not really a need. For me, at this point, I'm trying to make it that my body needs to be refueled and needs the nourishment. So taste kind of takes second place, but it's still a priority. And I like spice, so I kind of season all my meals. So as far as like consuming food for social gatherings, I do enjoy that, but since I've been prepping my meals, I kind of want to plan accordingly so that I'm not disrupting my process of meal plans. I'll go grab a cup of tea with you guys, or I'll drink fluids instead. But if you don't mind sitting across from me. As long as you're consuming your nourishment, I'm fine with that. What I don't like to do is go into a restaurant that kind of hangs their dead carcasses at the window, even though they're seasoned and they're supposed to smell great. It's just not my forte. So like certain Chinese restaurants downtown, they have that. They have like duck or their pork or whatnot. They have it hanging. And then when you walk into the restaurant, that's kind of the smell that's in the air. I choose not to be in that environment. And that's like my pro-choice. So if we can't hang because that's what you're interested into, please feel free to do you as I do me, as one would say. So interacting with people, it's great. It's something I prefer it to be more on the active. There's the interactive part of it. I'd want to interact with you on an active type of situation. So if we're just going to be I don't know, sitting around just shooting the shit, as one would say, I'm not about it. Let's do something collaborative. Let's make a video. Let's snap some photos. Let's be productive with that time that we have. I understand you kind of just want to linger around and kind of sip on some stuff, but it's just not my forte. So even watching sports, that's one particular reason why I don't really sit around watch a sport or television unless we're engaged into that activity. I use a television or Netflix as background music to whatever I'm doing. So activities would be great. I bought a pair of skates. I use them throughout the winter. Ice skating at Bryant Park is free as long as you have a pair of skates. That's what kind of gave me the ability to purchase skates. Instead of paying 3 rental fees, I bought myself a pair of skates. That made the event fun. It made it free. It made it personal. I recommend you buy a product that does that for you. Next month, I hope to get back into rock climbing, but it's been a process of like, can I wear these shoes? Should I be doing this when I should be attending to this? So like, I'm still focused on fully recovering my mobility. That requires me to be on my foot or focus on like how my feet are responding to certain situations. So that's why I started to go back to like an acrobatic floor and see what my tumbling feels like or looks like. But I only have a week in the gym, so even now I'm like, I'm just emphasizing on what mobility would look like to me. So as long as we're doing something that brings an activity to light, rollerblading, skating, bicycle riding, those are things of leisure that are very low impact. Let's do something like that. Let's go take a spin. And I get it, it's cold outside. Might not be your thing, but an active lifestyle is a healthy lifestyle, so I would prefer that instead of lounging around a couch. And if we're going to lounge or be indoors, let's turn it into a stretch session. Let's make it a productive one. I'm trying to get my splits back. I had my center split, my side splits. It's still a work in progress. I'm about 1.5 inches off the ground. In any given direction, I'm trying to figure those things back out for myself with the restrictions that my body has now placed on me. I'm trying to finesse that. So yeah, I definitely prefer to have an active lifestyle. And for those of you, an active lifestyle is pretty simple. I enjoy dancing, so that's particularly one of the top ones on my list. So I've been dancing for a long time. My sister and I used to put on little performances. Let me just double check this equipment and make sure that I am filming. Hold on. All right, yeah, we're 9 minutes in. And I'm shooting this all by myself, so bear with me as I double check my equipment, and that has officially been done. So I want to say, like, yeah, dancing. Dancing is one of those things that I do often, and I do often with a group of friends that now are literally... we're mixing it up. I took a class with Jeff Shelby. He's part of the New Style Hustle group. Their classes are now, or hustling is going to start again this upcoming month. As of now, the salsa community goes on a little bit of a back burner. because their events died down a bit. But their last event was in the Brooklyn Museum. I got the opportunity to go this past Sunday. They've been hosting it all winter, but my schedule didn't allow me to go because the event ends at 10 and I would have gotten off work at 10. So it's from 8 to 10, and I got to see the last of the performances and celebration. It was amazing. It was in the Brooklyn Museum. There was such a large crowd, big turnout. The performances were amazing. They had the red dresses, flares and spins. They even had what would look like a Brazilian ensemble, girls in bathing suit attire with bedazzles all over their bathing suits, in a sense, with a huge headpiece. And dancing was really a lot of fun. So shout out to Morgan for coming out, and Melissa. She took the trip all the way out from, Washington Heights. The 2 leaves you right in front, like the 2 train leaves you right in front of the Brooklyn Museum. So that was such a dope event. And from the outside, it looks incredible because they have a ton of lights. There's a set stage. There's live music playing. They have a free coat check if you ever go to the Brooklyn Museum. And who wouldn't want to go to a party in a museum? It's like, wow. The lights were amazing too. Like, yeah, I felt like I was in a movie. I haven't been like that in a minute, but it was a lot of fun. And afterwards, we went to this whole plant-based Chinese cuisine. It was Luann's. Just looked them up. Wow, the food was so good. We ordered a few hors d'oeuvres. We shared plates like traditional home-style Chinese cooking, of course. And it was really good. They had one of their drinks, kind of just a single drink put me over the limit there. Once again, it's just a plant-based restaurant, but the drinks are on point. Very good food, very great event. And that was Thursday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I had just been in the limbo of trying to get my meal prep / gym time. So making sure that my schedule is on par. I don't know how you guys feel, but if my schedule is set, I am super, relaxed, confident. I'm just like in it. And then I want to make sure I'm checking everything off my list and crushing my goals, because it just gives me that little incentive and momentum forward. You know how good it feels like when you get to check something off your list? The best. It is the best. So going to that Brooklyn Museum salsa event was great because we got to see the last event of the year for them. And it was just a lot of fun. We left a little bit early just to miss out on the whole funneling out of the museum or getting your coats from the coat check. But overall, it was great. Most of it is donation-based, and of course they promote their classes and the salsa school that particularly puts on the performances. But overall, if you attend the dancing event, that's a social gathering that I'm all about. We do a lot of movement, a lot of sweating. You should have seen the windows. They were fogged up. Just overall fun. Morgan and I worked on a few new dance moves. My sister and I, we got to dance bachata. They threw up a few bachata songs, and they also threw up cha-cha-cha, which was great. Just a mixture of dope, incredible people doing a lot of dancing. And I danced with a few ladies. I like the fact that the ladies have a lot of courage out there, and so do the guys. I mean, the guys come up to the women all the time, and women come up to the guys. So it's like a great atmosphere overall. I also wanted to touch upon communication. So yeah, as far as an active lifestyle, I enjoy that. Find something that is a hobby. I picked up archery. I've picked up axe throwing. I own 2 of those weapons. I do sword play and all that stuff. And all my stuff is being active and being engaged. I still practice my martial arts, even though I'm not attending my personal school at the moment. I have a lot of work to do to catch up to where I was. So I'm working on all that stuff on my own for now. But being active is a very big thing in my life. So find an activity and you'll find a group of people. As of right now, it's going to start to be the hustle scene. I'm going to start getting back into that and partaking in those courses, or classes or events. Possibly only Thursdays or late Thursday evenings. Who knows? We'll figure that one out. But this past Thursday, it went really well. I'm pretty sure when Mel's on, we'll talk about it some more. But I think the event and the food at the location was really grand. Boom. Jumping right into communication. I wanted to talk to you guys about this because communication, even now, me sitting in front of these cameras, talking to you guys directly, or if you're listening in on the podcast and you want to comment, because I know that I'm still trying to figure out how you guys on your podcast would reach out to me. But you can easily go to Toss and Turn NYC on Instagram and either direct message me or write on that episode, because I post these episodes on Sunday for the voice or for the podcast itself, for voice only. And then I post on Wednesday the visuals, which is the YouTube channel. So reach out on either one of those platforms. Name doesn't change, so wherever you found me, just type that into Google. Google is your best friend, and it will lead you to me. So Toss and Turn NYC, right? So communication, how does that work out for anyone? Or everyone. I call our phones pocket PCs because that's what they are to me. I use my phone on my commute to edit either photos or videos in that sense. And I enjoy that process. I'll put on music and I'll dive in. But I'm also communicating with people almost 24/7. Unless I'm shooting this, I'm putting my phone on airplane mode because I have had multiple interruptions while shooting the show, and I keep on forgetting to do that. So airplane mode is my savior. But phones, they're like little pocket PCs. And how do you communicate with your partner or with anyone, but mostly with your partner? Like, I've gotten lucky enough where my partner we're communicating on all forms of platforms. So like, we have our phone calls, we have our video calls or video chat, we have text messages. Let this fire truck go by, I think. I don't know how bad the audio is on that, but so we have phone calls, video calls, text messaging, right? That's just on the phone side of things. But then there's also platforms like LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, just to name a few. Of course, there's more. And then there's like consoles, gaming consoles. There's like PlayStation 4 and Xbox, and then the Wii and Switch and all these things. And then you have chats within those chats. There's Discord for those of you that are heavy gamers. You play on that. Wow, there's just so many mediums. And how do you communicate with your partner if you communicate at all? I know some people only work via text, or some people only work via phone call or video. I like the fact that I get to share all these mediums and get to be in communications, and we continue conversations via other platforms. And look at us now. I'm kind of just talking into camera and being able to socialize with people that kind of get a little bit of more of an in-depth feel as to what my life is, and maybe I'll get more of a feel of what your life is as we continue our process of exchanging on this medium or this platform. But overall, I like conversations that I get to exchange or shoot someone an image that has inspired me, and I'm like, hey, look, check this out. And they'll be like, oh, wow, I was looking at this very same thing. And that's just on Instagram's direct messages conversation. Or some of you guys check out my stories and then they're like, oh man, that transition was dope. Or, oh, I didn't realize that you rode that far to get to where you were going. Because on the way to the Brooklyn Museum, I rode City Bike and I caught a flat, right? And I posted that on my stories. But then I was like, this is the greatest thing about City Bike, is that you can go grab another bike and someone else deals with the flat. So here I go onto my event. And there are every other block, so it makes it really convenient. But that's a social setting that we normally didn't have in the past. Expressing our stories like on a daily routine or daily habit, or maybe just the day that you want to share your stories, and how that communicates your daily routine with people that would normally no longer be in your social circle. So Facebook for me is more like friends and family, but they're also tied into my stories on Facebook. On Instagram. So it's like communication overall. How's it working out for you guys? Because I like the fact that I get to share my stories with everyone, and then people feel like they can relate. It's the same instance when I was doing daily vlogging, which I have my vlogs. I haven't posted any of them, but I do practice on editing and all that stuff. It keeps my agility and speed while doing those edits. Like if you are comfortable with shortcuts on your, Adobe or Final Cut Pro or whatever platform you use to edit, the only way you get comfortable with those things is if you're editing constantly and spending the time. It's like practicing piano. I'm a little bit good at the piano, but I don't have enough hours to say like I'm really comfortable in you giving me a tune and me trying to perform it. So I keep myself or my skills honed and tightened by doing this, by like creating a show that I have to edit, record, do all the back of house detail so that I can bring it to you guys. And then hopefully you guys get something from it or in return. So communication. How do you communicate with your family members or partner? I know I try to reach out to my mom if I don't see her throughout the day or week. I hit her up with a FaceTime call while I work or on my way to the gym. Or are you just calling friends like as you walk from your place of business to your train stop, and then that's how you exchange conversations? I know that might be the case for a lot of us, that we're like fixing people into our transportation routes. It's not easy to make a phone call if you're underground on the train, but you know what I mean. You make the call when you have the opportunity or the time. So shout out to Mel and Morgan for coming out to that Brooklyn museum. I hope to have either one of them on the show at some point so that they can talk about how cool it is. And I know Mel just touched upon like Kizomba and doing that. I don't think she's attended anything throughout the winter. But we also had like this week, the Valentine thing, which I'm not too like, oh my God, it's Valentine's Day, here's a flower. But I did set a dinner time at a restaurant, a plant-based restaurant. I kind of don't even want to name it. I didn't have the best time there. I thought the venue was dope. The music was great. It was it was what it needed to be, right? It was personal. The food came out on time, but it wasn't like so flavorful. I don't recommend it. Or maybe like my friends just told me it might have been the chef. Like, if the person cooking the meal isn't on the same wavelength that they need to, because they got great reviews, but the food was edible. What can you say? Everybody knows how to do potatoes. You know what I mean? Like, plant-based stuff isn't that complicated. The seasoning has to be on point for it to be great. And that wasn't the case for this one. But it was one of the coldest nights, and we walked around to get treats, plant-based treats. I was not in a great mood for that. And then we ended up at a little wine bar, which really was the savior of the night. The wine was delicious. I ordered the right ones for myself, because not all wines, some of them give me that tingling sensation in my jawline, which means that my nerve or my taste buds are peaking, and nobody wants to have peaking taste buds or peaking headphones. That's why the audio is so important to me right now over the visuals, and the visuals will get better as time goes on. But Valentine's, I think, is a great thing, except you should be doing that every day. Like, you should be talking to people as if it was the last time you were going to see them, and giving them your sincere attention and thoughts. Tell them what you think, how you're thinking it, and all that. Like, always be on that forefront, because you don't ever know when's the last time you're going to talk to someone. That's pretty much it. So I like the idea of Valentine's, but I think it should happen every day. Like, talk to your loved one every day. Share that. And just to end on a high note, like, spring is around the corner. I know it's cold, but it is winter. So when spring starts to come around, I think we should all focus on staying positive. Stay positive, stay healthy, drink a ton of water. I think if you set an agenda down, make sure you can check it off your list. This has been a great conversation piece. I want to cut it short today. I don't want to continue rambling on. I don't know who's still listening to me chat it up, but we're roughly 26 minutes into the episode, and I want to say thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching, hitting the like button if you have. Honestly, I don't know how it works on the podcast, but yeah, thanks for tuning in. For those of you on Instagram catching us or catching segments and resharing and reposting, I really appreciate all that stuff. So thank you so much in advance. For those of you on Facebook or any of our platforms, I really appreciate you. I am from Washington Heights, just a Dominican American, more Americanized than what you would think, given the sound of my voice, right? And I appreciate everything has happened. I look forward to these episodes, but I also dread sitting in front of the camera by myself. So I'm glad I can sit here, talk to you guys, and if you have things that are scary to you, then do your best and just aim for the stars, and even if you land short, you'll be able to say that you did something. So I appreciate you guys reaching out when you do and how you do. And thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the shares. And for the most part, I hope that I'm encouraging you to change your habits and possibly coordinate your routines so that the future you can actually look back and say, hey man, thanks for starting that. And that's pretty much it. I hope to catch you guys on the next episode. This has been a great single-sided conversation, which is kind of cringy, but I appreciate you for tuning in. Have a nice weekend and have a great week. Thank you, and see you next time. This is Eudes signing off. Toss and Turn, NYC. Bye. Catch you next time.